Alrighty, welcome Paul Brown.
Thank you very much.
Owner of a Lagoon 42, one of the most recent handovers in Europe in August of last year. Welcome Paul, thank you very much. Why did you choose Lagoon? What was it with the Lagoon brand that drove you here?
Well, I suppose initially it was an experience that I already had with Lagoon boats. I chartered a Lagoon 45 in Croatia 7 years ago now, and had a fantastic couple of weeks on that, and that was probably where it all started from. At the same time I met a fellow who had a Lagoon 45 who was just starting out his 5-year journey, Mick and Leanne, and the boat has subsequently gone through the Mediterranean, the Caribbean and back across the Pacific, and I followed that journey very closely. All the reports that Mike always had about the boat and everything gave me the confidence to sort of want to go into Lagoon. And obviously there was probably only a couple of choices when you're looking at the sort of boats I was looking at. Lagoon always just came up as the one that sort of ticked all the boxes. Very happy.
Cool, very nice, very nice. And I guess that's probably what led you towards TMG and...
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, I first met you, I think, it's a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
In the beginning of last year, we met up in Dusseldorf and we looked at the new 46. That was always probably the boat I was looking at. And then I think it was always just the follow-ups that you yourself had with me, and the fact that then when we sort of said, well, maybe the 46 is not going to work. It was a long time to wait for something, and I was very keen to get started. I was a little bit impatient. I was ready to go, and I wanted something to happen. But your suggestion, we looked at the 42 down in Sydney, and sort of the rest is history since then. But I think it was just the whole TMG crowd. I mean, John and Joe down in Sydney were always very welcoming to go and sort of show you anything. It took me out on the 42, and I couldn't fault sort of just the whole TMG network and what we were able to do, and how everybody was easy to get on with. So
awesome.
Yeah,
it's a great response. I think European launch for you was always a must. Walk us through your thoughts on that and your whole reasonings for taking the boat in Europe.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, number one, anxious to get on board, so that was always a priority. The actual heading over to Europe went so much easier than I thought it was going to. I was by myself, I didn't have anybody else going with me, so I was there a week before the handover. I managed to arrive in Sub d'Olonne 1 day before the boat was actually going in the water. That was fantastic to see. To actually see the boat launched for the first time, and then to follow its sort of development just in those couple of days after that too, with rigging and everything going on, and see all that happening. And then obviously the actual handover period, Joe Fox came over, and apart from just having a great time with Joe as far as restaurants and eating and drinking and things like that, it was just a really enjoyable couple of days. The handover itself for the 2 days was fantastic. I mean, we basically just sat on the boat for the first day and went through it from top to bottom, bow to aft, and starboard to port. And yeah, it was a great learning experience. And then out the next day and having a bit of a sail and making sure everything worked properly. Putting up the Code Zero that I got for the first time was a fantastic thing to do. I can't speak highly enough about that actual process. I found the Sub d'Olonne a great place to stay. Your recommendation, I stayed in that hotel there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so convenient, restaurants and everything there, right there. The Chambéry was fantastic to be able to deal with. And then I hired a car for a couple of days, and there was a fantastic array of shops and businesses and hardware areas to be able to get everything that you wanted to get. And I even got timber cut and things like that I wanted to do. And yeah, it was a great week.
Yeah, it's definitely a very central place there with Sub d'Olonne.
Well, it was very easy, so I don't know how you could make it much easier. It was great.
That's what we want. How's Europe been so far? Tell us about the first couple of months.
From the moment we left Le Sub d'Olonne on the Friday afternoon on the 30th of August, we had a skipper from England join me for the first 2 weeks. I'm not an experienced sailor by any means, who was just fabulous. We left late Friday afternoon, and then basically the 4-day sail across the Biscay was, I must admit, something I wasn't looking forward to because of all the things you hear about it, but it was just fabulous. I mean, we had great weather. The skipper's recommendations, we left a little bit early and we actually got ahead of some bad weather. But yeah, we had a fantastic crossing and made very good time. We had probably a combination of weather. We had good winds to start with, and then we had a couple of days where we had very calm conditions and we were motoring. That meant we could fish, so that was handy, a nice little tuna along the way. Basically then just heading down the coast, we stopped at Cascais, just off in Portugal, in Lisbon, and a couple of days there just to wait for another friend of mine to join me, and then down in through Gibraltar, and then we went up from there up to Ibiza and Mallorca, and really then by that stage Chris had left, the skipper, and my brother and a couple of other mates had joined me, so we were sort of we were starting to get into the good part about being on the boat and not just trying to get quickly from A to B. After that, my daughter joined me in Sardinia with another girlfriend of hers and a friend from the States, and we had pretty much about 2 or 3 weeks. That was really where we did sort of slow down a little bit and managed to just get around the islands and across to Corsica and beautiful around the La Maddalena group of islands. They left, she went back to Australia, and I had another skipper join me for another couple of weeks, and we went down the Italian coast. One of the highlights was probably going to the volcano of Stromboli. That was just amazing. At the bottom of Italy and up to Montenegro, which is where the boat is, and just a fantastic 9 weeks. It really was.
Wow, that sounds spectacular. What would you say the one place you've stopped at?
Look, I think probably Sardinia and that area was, simply because my daughter was there, and we had some other friends on board, and we just had a wonderful couple of weeks. It was my birthday while we were there, so that was sort of a little bit of a milestone as well, and we had a fantastic day, and the food around that area was just amazing, and it's just a beautiful area. I mean, water-wise and island-wise, it's just incredible. Certainly the volcano and cruising up to that in the early hours of the morning, and that appearing out of the dark, sparks flying, was certainly a highlight. It'd be hard to pick a highlight out of even those 9 weeks. It was the whole 9 weeks was a highlight.
What's the next plan for the boat, and what are you most excited about?
Firstly, just getting back onto it. So like I said, the boat's in Montenegro. Pulled out at just near the Porto Montenegro marina. Didn't really get any chance to discover any of that area. As soon as I go back in April, get the boat back in the water, get it re-rigged, and then really just do that Kotor Bay or Kotor Inlet and see that Montenegro area. Then from there up to Croatia, and that's, I suppose, where that experience began back in 2013 when I had the time to just spend on a charter boat. Really sort of see more and more of Croatia. And really my plan this year is not to necessarily even go much further than that. Get right up to the top of Croatia, maybe come back down the Italian coast, and possibly even take the boat back to Montenegro and winterise again next Christmas.
Well, you're talking about winterising the boat in Montenegro. Just fill us in a bit about that and why you chose Montenegro and the whole experience and how easy it was.